Guys, we are back in business. After taking the weekend to decompress as well as completely separate myself from the markets yesterday, which you'll remember was my first true day off since leaving my job last year, I came into this morning's session feeling refreshed, focused, and genuinely excited to trade. Most exciting though was that for the first time since the very beginning, well before even starting this project, my primary goal this morning was not about making money. It was about following my rules and becoming a better trader. Of course, I wanted to finish the day green, but what I cared most about was earning the highest discipline score I possibly could. That was the metric I kept thinking about all morning. My day ended at 10:10 with a realized gain of $211. Oddly enough, though, a small part of me was almost hoping I would see a meaningful loss. Not because I wanted to lose money, but because I wanted to prove to myself that I can finally honor my $250 maximum loss rule. I honestly believe the day I finally do that will be the day this discipline journey reaches another level. As mentioned last Friday, if I can figure that out, I think this project is going to get really fun really fast. Today I had to give myself a perfect score in that category simply because the situation was never tested. And while technically the rule also applies to the upside by stopping once I reach my $500 maximum daily gain, it still feels like a category I haven't really earned yet. Either way, we'll continue refining that as this project continues to evolve. My first trade came at 9:01 this morning with a 25 share short position in Apple. A minute later, I added another 25 shares, bringing the position to my maximum size of 50. That's when I noticed my first mistake. In my excitement to get into the trade, I completely forgot to place a stop loss on that second 25 share position. I almost immediately caught and corrected it, but the damage to my discipline score had already been done. A perfect score was officially off the table as of 9:05 this morning. From there, the morning settled down. Between 9:05 and 9:50, I traded between Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla, and at one point found myself down $100. A little later, I found myself up $125. Throughout that stretch, I kept a close eye on the daily loss limit, stayed within my position limits, and never allowed the morning to become emotional. As my gains exceeded $125, I started thinking it was probably time to end the day. We leave tomorrow morning for our family vacation, and I still had plenty to do before the trip, and I genuinely wanted today's session to be a success in discipline. But then Tesla presented another opportunity. Around 9:50 this morning, I had already realized about $75 in gains on Tesla while still holding a 25 share short that was showing a small unrealized loss. The chart still looked good, so added another 25 shares, bringing the position back to my maximum size of 50 shares. Shortly after, Tesla moved in my favor, pushing my total Tesla gains over $100 and my overall account gains above 200. And that is when I should have ended the day. I even whispered it to myself. But then Tesla reversed. Between 9:55 and 10:10, my first stop triggered. While I didn't jump back in immediately, I also admit I re-entered faster than I probably should have, and at that point could feel my decision making shifting from patient execution to emotional thinking. I recognized it. I slowed down, took a breath, and even remember whispering to myself, today has to be successful. I also wasn't talking about money anymore. I was talking about discipline. I didn't want to leave for vacation tomorrow morning knowing my last trading day before we left was another failure, regardless of what my P&L says. That said, though, I still wasn't quite disciplined enough. After another stop triggered, I added back another 25 shares, second time doing that, and remember thinking I just might get that opportunity to prove whether I can follow my maximum daily loss rule after all. Things were starting to deteriorate and I could feel it. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, Tesla rolled back where the chart suggested it might. I closed the position for a $125 gain and finished the day up $211. In all, today's discipline score comes in at 7.7. I deducted points for forgetting that initial stop loss, for averaging into positions more than I should have, and for allowing emotion to creep into the final part of the session, and most importantly, for not walking away the first time I felt my focus beginning to slip. Ironically, staying after that initial feeling allowed my profits to land another $100 up where they otherwise wouldn't have had I exited when I first thought I should. And that's exactly why following the rules is just so difficult. Unfortunately, sometimes breaking the rules do work. That's what makes this so dangerous. Outcomes like today reinforce the exact behavior I'm trying to eliminate. That's how bad habits survive. In the meantime, our discipline score is now in the uptrend, which is exactly where I want it to be before leaving on vacation. As mentioned earlier, my family and I leave tomorrow for our first of 2 vacations over the next month. Trading, if it happens at all, will be extremely limited while we're away. Therefore, my next video will be a week from today, Tuesday, July 7th, after market close. Rather than focusing on a single trading session, that video will focus on 3 things. 1, how I handled being away from the markets for nearly a week. 2, any trades I did make, along with the emotional processes behind them. And 3, what it felt like returning after several days away and how the break impacted my discipline. Have a great 4th of July week, everyone, and I'll see you after the market closes next Tuesday.